If you want to pass a real estate exam, so it's important that you review lots and lots of questions. In today's video, we're going to do Texas real estate questions, just a few at a time, so that you can be able to repeat the video over and over versus how I've been doing them in the past. All right. So we're continuing, okay, with question 1626. And type the question in the chat. Question, number, answer in the chat. All right, number 1626. Jane would like to purchase a property in the Silverleaf subdivision, which is managed by a homeowners association requiring all owners to be members. So in a homeowners association, they require for everyone to be owners. Hi, Miss Cindy. So which of the following is true when someone would like to purchase a property in a subdivision like Silverleaf subdivision? So A, if Jane is not informed of the HOA prior to closing, Jane can cancel the sales contract. B, the seller must disclose the HOA requirement prior to taking possession. Or C, the seller must give written notice of the membership requirements to Jane no more than 7 days after signing the sale contract. Or D, it enables the buyer to remove all liens on the property. Well, I'll let you know it's not the last one, D. It is not C, Miss Cindy. It can be a different timeline. It's not just 7 days. The buyer could ask for it in 3 days, 5 days, and some HOAs take a little bit longer to provide the information. So it could actually, take upward 10 days. So anyone else, type your question in the chat. Question number and letter. All right, so far I have A. Who else? Okay, David says A. I'll give you a little bit more time. Stick with your A. Don't be changing. The first one, yes, wasn't accurate, but this one is. So yes, the answer is A. So it says, so Jane is not, if Jane is not informed, okay, of the HOA prior to closing, Jane can cancel the sales contract and get the earnest money back. Oops. So the question asks, Jane would like to purchase a property in the Silverleaf subdivision, which is managed by an HOA, homeowners association, requiring all owners to be members, because now we pay a fee for that homeowner association. Which of the following is true? So that if Jane does not receive the HOA prior to closing, she can terminate the contract and get the earnest money back. Now, we had a C answer, which says the seller must give written notice of the membership requirement to Jane no more than 7 days after signing the sales contract. No, it could actually be earlier. It depends on what is stated in the contract. The buyer can give a certain number of days, and if it's not sufficient, the listing agent will advise the seller to counter and say, no, we actually need 10 days because this HOA moves a little slow. And the title company is also going to be requesting them, and a fee has to be paid for those HOA documents. And sometimes they can be up to $500 to get all the documents when there's a property management company, okay, for let's say a subdivision. So it's very interesting. It can be a spendy thing. So I've, costing $50 when I moved in. Now it's $550 because there's a company involved and they're doing it electronically. So the answer here is A. So very good, Cindy, for changing your answer. All right. Number 27. Let's make that a little bit larger. Which of the following regarding equitable interest? Which of the following, internet issues. Okay, which of the following is a true statement regarding equitable interest? A, following the execution of a sales contract, that's a purchase and sales contract, and prior to closing, sellers have an equitable interest in title. B, Texas is referred to a lien theory state. C, Texas mortgages hold equitable title to the collateral property. Or D, Texas mortgagors hold equitable title in the collateral property, collateralized property. So if you've been reviewing vocabulary, there's lien theory, there's title theory. And so if you know that, you'll be able to know whether question B or not. And by knowing those vocabulary, lien theory and title theory, you would know that in Texas, it's either going to be A, C, or D. So basically, I'm letting you know it is not B, because Texas is a title state, title theory state. So I'm going to enjoy some of my 21-year-old wine. Celebrating my birthday. How do you say? It's my birthday. I can cry if I want to, but I don't want to. Hi, Crystal. Good evening. This is state, Texas state. So I've divided now my my sessions. I did vocabulary for 10 vocabularies. Maybe I did 11. And then I created a new session for just Texas. And then another day I will do just one for national. That way we can have it cut short, 30 minutes, 15 minutes or so. Thank you, Crystal. All right, so what's the answer to 27? The answer is D. So which of the following is a true statement regarding equitable interest? So in Texas, Texas mortgagors hold equitable title in the collateralized property. Texas is a title theory state. So the mortgagee, which is the lender, keeps title. Okay, they have legal title. The borrower has equitable title. Once the loan is paid for, the title will be transferred and it becomes their title as a legal title and not an equitable title. So loan will be paid for. The lien will be removed. That release of liens will be recorded so that the public knows, right? It's constructive notice when it's recorded. And now it shows that the owner owns the property. Okay, free of any lender's lien. Yes. Thank you. All right. So that was 1627 is D. So if you're not familiar with that, title and then all lien theory and title theory. All of those are vocabulary. Execution also is a vocabulary. Mortgagees vocabulary. Mortgagors. So mortgagor is the borrower, right? Mortgagee is the lender. In Texas, we have a deed of trust. There are 3 parties in a deed of trust. The trustor, who's the borrower. The trustee is the person that the lender entrusts. And most of the time it's an attorney. They hold on to the title. And the beneficiary. The beneficiary is the lender. So the deed of trust gives the instructions on what to do in case there's a default or if the loan gets to be sold, all those, all that information. Usually the deed of trust is several pages long. All right. Okay, so that was the end of 16th session. Now this is a Texas practice exam. However, it includes national questions and Texas questions. So since I'm doing only Texas today, then I'm going to shift. And we're going to do more Texas questions. All right, so now we're on 11. For anybody using this book, you can follow along. So this has to do with Texas Real Estate Commission. All right. Number 1. So Texas Real Estate Commission, right? That's who issues the license for us. So when we go they give it, we submit our 180 hours, so certificates, 6 certificates to TREC. They approve us. They send us a letter or they now email us and say, hey, go get your fingerprints so that they can do the background check. And also, let you know you can now take your exam. Once your exam is taken, it goes directly to TREC, and so do the fingerprints. All right, number 1. Which of the following is true regarding the Texas Real Estate Commission? A, commissioners serve a staggered 3-year term. B, 9 members are elected to 6-year terms. C, 3 members must represent the public. Or D, 6 members are appointed by the governor with the approval of the Senate. So type your answer in the chat. So far, we've got, hi, Joan, or no, hi, Juan. My contacts are dry, so it looked like a Joan. Okay, so we've got 1C, 1B. Anyone else? There's quite a few of you on here. So type your answers in the chat now. So it is not B, Miss Cindy. So take another attempt. So anyone who just came on, we are now doing Texas state questions. So when you click the alert to my YouTube channels and you click for everything, you'll get an alert every time I go live. So a little bit earlier, I did vocabulary at 6 o'clock. And then I started the Texas state at 6:25. So you would have received 2 alerts. All right, the answer is C. 3 members must represent the public. Oh, there seemed to be a little bit of internet issues today. So hold on, I'm looking for something. So in the so it says Texas Real Estate Commission is composed of 9 members appointed by the governor. So B said 9 members are elected, okay, but they're appointed by the governor for a 6-year term. And you had put, yeah, so that's what you had answered. So the reason why that one is incorrect is because they are not elected, okay? They're appointed by the governor. And then they cycle. So that is too much stuff. So that's it. Okay. So just know that if there are 9 members, but they are appointed by the governor and they serve 6-year terms. So A was incorrect because it says 3-year terms. And D was incorrect because it says 6 members appointed by the governor with the approval of the Senate. So it's actually 9 members. Okay, you got it. Okay, you can post later on the article about taking the test. Oh, okay. So 11 is C. So number 2, the TREC, that's the abbreviation for what? Texas Real Estate Commission. They are empowered to do what? A, enact laws to administer license law statutes. B, discipline violators of license law. C, establish uniform standards of business practice, including market area delineations and commissions. Or D, impose incarceration sentences for flagrant violators of license law. So select your answer. While you do that, I need to put some eye drops because I'm starting to see weird names. Like I thought Juan was Joan. Right? I couldn't distinguish certain letters. Okay, so far we have a B. Anyone else? Oops. Oops. Lily. So we've got 2B so far. And yes, the answer is B. Discipline violators of license law. So it says TREC is charged with the responsibility to administer and enforce license law. So they don't enact the law, legislature does, okay? So they have the responsibility to administer license law and enforce it, okay? And then including disciplining violators of law. It does not, however, enact laws, okay, as such as the province of the legislature. That's who does it. Nor can it impose or regulate brokerage operations such as market area definitions or commissions. So anything dealing with the market, we have other software that we use, and that's why we joined the multiple listing service. And then we have National Association of Realtors that evaluates the market, how the performance of many realtors throughout the United States. Commissions is negotiable. So commission is not regulated, right? Because we don't want a monopoly. We want freedom of competition. All right, number 3. Okay. The purpose of the Education Standard Advisory Committee, known as ESAC, remember the acronyms, is to what? A, establish and maintain education standards for fulfillment of the education-related aspects of Texas license law. B, hire and manage real estate examination consultants to deliver the state license examination. C, approve the delivery performance of real estate instructors on an ongoing basis. Or D, standardize education requirements for licenses. All right, so Miss Cindy already answered with A. Anyone else? Moving right along. So the answer here is A, establish and maintain education standards, fulfillment of the education-related aspects of Texas license law. So they accredit different schools that teach the classes, that they establish and maintain the education standards, okay, and they approve different schools or online, also online schools. So remember, they establish and maintain education standards for fulfillment of the education-related aspects of Texas license law. So the ESAC operates in an advisory capacity to the TREC to establish specific guidelines. Okay, so that is ESAC. I might have said TREC, right? It is the advisory committee and standards for teachers and schools in fulfilling education-related licensing requirements. It cannot in itself establish license requirements. That is what TREC does, nor does it serve to deliver or the license exam. So the license exam is by an examining organization. Right here in Texas, we're using Pearson VUE. We used to have PSI. So finally, while it may establish teaching standards, it does not literally audit delivery performance of instructors. So TREC is the one that approves the list, right? And we have a list of instructors or schools that we have access to when we go and research on TREC's website as to where we want to take our classes. Yeah, lots of laugh. All right. All right. Number 4. In fulfilling its regulatory role, TREC, Texas Real Estate Commission, is empowered to do what? A, convict licensees of misdemeanors or felonies. B, dissolve offending business entities such as real estate management companies. C, amend license laws if deemed to be legal or unfair, or D, impose fines as well as suspend or revoke licenses. So think about it. If there's an answer that you've never seen or doesn't make any sense, do not select it. Okay, that's one of the testing tips. Okay, if there's something that you don't recognize at all, skip it. If you don't know the answer and you're going to guess, look at the prior two questions and see what letter answer was selected. If they were both A, then take a risk and choose A. If they were both B, choose B. Yes, the audio is cutting off because all of a sudden my internet connection with StreamYard cycles. That's what's happening there, Juan. And I've got the fastest internet connection with Spectrum now, and I still have some issues. So number 4, yes, the answer is D. So TREC can impose fines as well as suspend or revoke licenses, right? Impose fines, and there can be treble fines, right? As well as suspend or revoke our licenses. So whenever doing real estate as a realtor, do everything legal. If you don't know, don't take a chance. Go talk to a broker or an extremely experienced realtor. Typically, they say go talk to your broker because they're the ones that are liable for you and are going to give you an accurate answer. We don't always go by just talking to other realtors and asking other realtors advice. We could get the wrong answer. All right, number 5. If a licensee's suspension is upheld following a hearing, the licensee, A, may appeal to a district court where the hearing was held. B, may appeal to an appellate court where the violation occurred. C, may sue in district court for injunctive relief. Or D, may not appeal the TREC's decision. So I'm sure that you reviewed and learned some of this. So if a licensee suspension is upheld, that means TREC made a decision to suspend based on listening to the complainant's complaint and listening to the licensee's reason, okay, or defending themselves. So what can they do? Can they appeal it in the district court where the hearing was held? May they appeal it to an appellate court where the violation occurred? Or C, may sue in district court for injunctive relief? Or D, may not appeal the TREC's decision. So we know it's not D. So the answer here is A. They may appeal to a district court where the hearing was held. So whenever there is a hearing, it's either going to happen in the court where the licensee resides or in Austin. Okay. Austin, TREC will send a notice to the licensee. Where would you like to have the hearing held? At your area or in Austin? If the licensee does not respond, it defaults to Austin. So, but the licensee can appeal or may appeal. Let's see if it says anything different here. Licensees guilty of a violation may still pursue an appeal within the district court where the hearing was held. And it could have been held in Austin or in the location where they reside. All right. So we're doing things a little bit different this year, 2023, to try to simplify and take less of your time so that you may then after the session, go back and review the same questions, review the video, repeat it while it's fresh on your mind. Remember, I mentioned that the best way to learn is do 20-minute sessions, because the mind remembers the beginning of every session and the end of every session. And so my sessions have been, an hour to 2 hours. Well, I've got to do what I preach, right? So from now on, we're going to do videos in, 20, 25-minute, 30-minute sessions, okay? And do separate lives, okay? A live on vocabulary, hopefully keep it 10 to 15 minutes, and you can then go and review that vocabulary again. And why is that? Repeat, repeat, repeat. You'll be more willing to go and review those vocabulary that you just heard. The same with the questions. If you missed any of these questions, go back and watch the video and redo those 5 questions until you totally understand them and get a perfect score. Go back to the book and review the explanation, or Google it, okay, the subject, the question, the vocabularies, and get different answers on different ways to understand the questions, okay, and the vocabulary. All right, so hopefully you will be able to adjust this way. This will help you study in 20 to 30-minute sessions, take a break, and study again. All right, y'all, this is Wild Lillie Handy coming to you from San Antonio, Texas with YouTube Agent Prep. And we're on Facebook. Well, actually, I'm on Facebook Live or on the private Facebook group where there are additional documents that you can download. I shared yesterday on Messenger the night before the real estate exam. So I got that from other students, and some documents can also be found on Prep Agent. A lot of students end up uploading documents that they have used that has worked for them. So if you haven't gone to the private Facebook group, Agent Prep, go to the group. I have 14 guides, and there's other documents on there. And a gentleman that just passed and joined me at EXP, Rene Davila, he recommended highly, and he put a link on there last week to go and review the document that says the night before the real estate exam. And with that said, if this is your first time to my channel, YouTube Agent Prep, you know what to do. Tap that subscribe button, click that little bell so you're the first to get notified every time I go live or I upload a video, and like this video. Send me a thumbs up, okay? There's quite a few on you here. Let me see how many thumbs up I have. I only have 3 thumbs up. So come on, those 9 of you that are on here on YouTube, go do a thumbs up if you find this video useful. If you don't get anything bad, or say it in French or some other language that somebody won't know. All right, y'all, until next time, which will be Saturday morning. Catch you all later. Bye.